Welcome back to another tutorial about Unity's new input system. In this video we will discuss all the things about mouse interactions. First we will check all of the interactions and how to use them. Then we will see what you can do with a mouse. Then we are showing you an implementation of a virtual mouse. So stick around and find out how you can use this in your project. In the game world, there are plenty of objects that can interact with the mouse. The simplest one is a button. It is just a mono behavior that you place on a UI element and it is done. But there are plenty of other objects on the UI that uses the mouse. For example, the toggle or the input fields. But there are game objects not on the UI you want to interact with. In this situation, you typically use a raycaster to do so. So what really is interaction with an object? The most obvious one is clicking, either left or right button on the mouse. Clicking is the most basic thing you can do in a game. You can open a details menu or just attack an enemy. The other basic thing is moving the mouse. There are games that use this as a gameplay element, like maybe the mouse is a character and the enemy is targeted. But there are times when the mouse movement is used for camera movement like an FPS game. And there are more complicated interactions as well. Example, the scrolling or the scroll view or drag and dropping something in the menu. These are all bases of a great game, but there's a problem when you see it so often. Just imagine, you just bought a game for your console. It starts loading and the first scene you see is the menu. But you have no mouse. What will you do? Developers often find themselves in these kind of situations. They have to adapt a really well-made game to another platform that doesn't have the same inputs. In the previous tutorial I mentioned that you can add an action multiple devices and inputs. But the mouse can be replaced by just another input. But Unity has some tricks up their sleeve for that. First, the input system can automatically select one of the selectable items in your scene. So now you have control over the first button in the menu. Next, every button and selectable object has the navigation field in them. These are responsible for navigating between selected objects. That is why you can navigate between buttons in the menu. Other times, you just want to click to change the weapon or the special attack you are about to use. These clicks can be replaced with shortcuts, like a left trigger or something else. But these are entirely based on the fact that you can't use a mouse. But what if you can mimic a mouse as well? To mimic a mouse, you need to create your own virtual mouse. This should be easy, just copy a mouse sprite or create a circle or something. After that, the hard part begins. You have to create a virtual mouse script and other stuff to make it work. Just a reminder that I use the new Unity input system. If you want to watch how I implemented it, I put the link in the description of this video. First, search for the input system UI input module in the scene. Yeah, I know it's a long name. Select the action asset that is assigned to the script. Select the UI action map from it and copy it to your action map. After this, assign the script to your action map. Now you can modify the basic functions of the UI input actions. It's much easier. After this, you have to make some modifications to the action map. Let's create a new action map called utils. This utils will contain two actions. One of it will contain the mouse position and concrete position of the mouse. and the other will contain the delta movement of the stick on the controller. This way you can track the controller as well. After this, you have to change the UI click action. Choose the binding you want your controller to use as a click. And let's check again that you use the real mouse position in your cursor position. For the safety, you have to implement it in the input system manager as well, just as in the previous video. If you want more details about it, you can check it in the description of the video. If you are done, then let's create a game object and a script for the cursor. First, let's create a script called custom virtual cursor. Set some basic fields. On the enable function, change some variables. And create a virtual mouse instance for yourself. Now that is all set, set the initial position of the virtual mouse to the transform. I know it's a long way. After that, you can set the action cursor invisible. This way you won't see the actual cursor, just your virtual one. Then subscribe to the input system on after update event with the update motion function. And don't forget to unsubscribe on the disable function as well. Here you can clear the virtual mouse from the input system as well. And I think it's all set. Now you have to implement the update motion function. But before that, implement the onCursor and onDelta actions and save the result. In the update motion script, you can implement some of the most important things. First, check the virtual mouse if it is null or not. This way you don't have any exceptions when you use it in this script. If it is a gamepad that the user is using, then move the mouse with the save data variable. If not, then just use the save position. Yeah, it's a long script, sorry. After that, set the virtual mouse position to the position. Then set the cursor UI as well. And if you want, you can calculate the raycast here so that you can use this in helping tool. If you missed anything, I will link the full script in the description of this video.
If you are done, create the object for the script and place the script on it. Don't forget to create player input as well and pass it on to the script. And create some basic UI for the testing, and we are ready to go. So let's try it. Now I'm clicking with the mouse, and now I'm using the controller. And yeah, it works. There is an alternative. Use the virtual mouse input mono behavior.
This solution isn't really documented yet, so I haven't got the chance to check it out, but I'm currently testing it. I will let you know what I found out. And that's it. That's our video. If you enjoyed it, then make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you won't miss the next one. But until then, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.